Hello everyone, this is Jasmina, and in this video I'm going to talk about how to read your flying star chart. I think I was a little negligent. I've been reading charts for so long I forget that people don't know how to read their charts. So here goes. There are three aspects that you need to look at for each individual sector of your flying star chart. And one of these things is the timeliness of the stars in there and how the stars interact with each other within that single sector and which star is supported. Now, none of these is more important than the other. This is all important, equally important. If you're very lucky, you'll have an activated special formation within your star chart pattern and, well, actually, you'll have the pattern there. And if you're lucky, you'll have it activated by the landforms. Most of the special formations require landforms, specific types of landforms, either a mountain or water, to be present in specific sectors outside the house. The only exception to that is combo 10. And all of these can also apply to apartments and condos. Good landforms will improve the energy of the combo 10, but they're not required for activation. However, you cannot have a missing sector. That will destroy the combo 10 house. So that means basically your house is rectangular or square. Also, you want to look at the possibility of having HER2 elements and HER2 guas. And this is something that isn't terribly hard to do. And if you can find them, then this accelerates or promotes that particular sector more than average. An activated special formation creates the condition where all stars become timely for all periods, and this is why it's so sought after. Most often you need at least one mountain. And if you only need one mountain, you almost always need some water also. But there are many times when you need more than one mountain to be able to activate the formation. And like I said, some of these forms will require water. And we're talking about a pond or a lake, not a river. That's also needed. And not all forms need it, but many do. And if you have a river, it does give you qi, but you analyze that using San-He qi, not this type of San-Yuan qi. Again, the only exception to having to have these landforms is the combo 10 house. It doesn't need water or mountains to activate, but it cannot have a missing sector. When no activation occurs, and that's actually quite frequently, then the individual stars need to be investigated for their timeliness in each sector. And it is very common to have a mixed set of timely and untimely stars within a single sector of your flying star chart. And how we interpret this will depend on the star's position, whether it's a facing, sitting, or base star, and whether or not you're using it for a specific purpose. So if we're looking at a home office, we want to look at the facing star. If we're looking at the bedroom or the kitchen, we look at the sitting star and see if that one is timely. So that's that, you might have if you have a mix, as long as the purpose you're using for that room is timely, it's usually pretty good. The facing star governs the ability or the suitability for the room to be used for earning money and increasing wealth. So you want a good facing star, a timely facing star in your home office, and you want it also in your at your front door, your main door. The sitting star governs the suitability for that room to be used for health and relationships. So when the sitting star is timely, it's a good place to have a kitchen or a bedroom in general. When the base star is timely, that's nice, but actually it's not as important. What the base star indicates is the availability of external opportunities, new ones that come from outside sources. So it's somebody you meet, or something happens in your where you're working that you suddenly have a new opportunity. If it's timely, it's better, but it can still work if it's not timely, as long as it supports the right star. So here is a list of stars and what their timely properties are and what their untimely properties are. And you can get a traditional table of timely and untimely stars on the fengshui.com website. Many masters believe that 1, 4, 6, and 8 are generally timely regardless of period, and I agree with them. I think that it makes sense. The way we're using it anyway, it seems to work. So that means for period 8, the traditional ones here are in green, and then here are the 2 extra ones you get because they seem to work. Period 9, which starts next year and goes for 20 years, we have these 3 in green that are traditionally timely, and an additional 3 that comes from this idea. Now, it's true that 8 will be pretty weak right now. It'll be as weak as it can possibly be, but it's still generally good. Annual stars are unaffected by the presence or absence of activated special formations in your flying star chart. So you always need to cure the negative stars, the negative annual stars, in the important rooms of your house. In the unimportant rooms, you don't have to worry about them so much. The interpretation of the annual stars is based on the star's timeliness. And that table that I just showed you is the same for the annual stars as it is for the flying stars. There is also some changes that have kind of occurred over time. Star 3 used to be thought of like traditionally of quite a negative star. It can lead to arguments and discord and this kind of thing. But today, this also is acknowledged that it can lead to courage and make you a little more willing to fight for your own rights and other people's rights. And now it's looked at in a more positive light in general. But if you're already aggressive, this can be a bit too much and make you too aggressive. So it depends on who you are, whether or not this is a useful star. How the stars combined, that will depend on basically the timeliness of the star, the support, and the position of the star. And support, I have a separate video all about which star is supported, but you only worry about that really with the facing and sitting star, that is the support. And whether or not it's good depends on where each one of those stars are. There is a really comprehensive table by David Gaw, who I guess runs Imperial Harvest, and it has all the positive and negative steps, aspects, or what you get from the 81 combinations of the flying stars. And he has them in both orders. This is an extremely good chart, and I'm not going to repeat it because it's already there. These combinations occur between the facing and the sitting stars only. We don't look at the base star for this. If you happen to have an activated special formation, then the one that makes all stars become timely for all periods, then you just look at the positive aspect of this, regardless of period. You still should block Sha-Chi if you can, and the best block is a live tree, evergreen, and if you can't see it, it can't affect you. And we're talking about Sha-Chi that you can see through a window or a door. If it hits a solid wall, it's usually not too bad unless it's really, really strong Sha-Chi. Traditionally, the current period star, as well as the two upcoming period stars, are always timely. Everybody agrees upon that. The exception is that some masters agree that these 4 stars are typically positive regardless of period. And it does seem to work, so I'm in this camp. Now, there are some special formations or special combos to look for. The 1-4, and it could be 4-1 or 1-4. It's good for a home office or a study room for your kids. It's really good for that. And in period 9 at least, and the rest of period 8, 1 and 9 is also quite good. It's a combo 10. They're both timely. So this is generally good for almost any activity. So these are the 2 that I think are the most interesting ones right now. If you have one of those special formations, and actually there are 6 of them, and I talk about them in other videos, all of the star combinations that are affected by this special formation are to be interpreted positively. So if you have a combo 10, pearl string, parent string, or 7-star robbery, they affect the entire house. So every star is interpreted positively. If you have an on mountain on water or an up mountain down water, that affects only the facing and sitting sectors of the house. Those stars will be timely in those 2 areas. The rest of the house you will have to look at timeliness in the standard way. Where you want to put what will depend where your mountain is. If your mountain is wherever the mountain is, you want to have this to be your kitchen or your bedroom, the owner's bedroom. And wherever the water is, you want to have this either your main door or your home office. And it works the same way here. One will just be in front and the other one will be in back. Now, so those affected sectors, whichever they are, whether it's the whole house or just the 2, they are always interpreted in the positive way. So that table that David Gaw gives, you look at the positive. Now, only the combo 10 formation does not require landforms, but it cannot have a missing sector. And if landforms are there, it's actually better. And in general, they don't much care where the landforms are, as long as you have some. That is, you have some hills or mountains you can see, and maybe a little pond somewhere. Now, you do have to be careful with water. You got to be careful you don't create a castle gate. That could destroy your combo 10 stars. So you have to be a little careful with water placement. The 2 most important stars in the chart are the facing and sitting stars. The base star can support either star or support both or neither. I mean, it can do anything. When a facing star is supported, and I'll talk about what that means in just a little bit, it's an indication that that sector is better put to use to earn money and gain wealth. So this is a good location for a home office or a main door. When the sitting star is supported, it is an indication that the sector is better put to use for improving your health and relationships. So obviously, it could be a kitchen, an owner's bedroom, or even a home gym. Each of these, every sector in your chart is going to have 1 or both stars supported. There'll never be a chart where there's no support. Either your facing or sitting star will be supported in every single sector of your flying star chart. We just have to figure out which one, which we're going to do now. The support, what is supporting what, depends on the star's elements. So what we have here is the 3 pieces of information you need. The idea is if you have a room in your house, and let's say you want to use it for a home office, so we look at the facing star. So if the facing star is 1, you want to see if the sitting star is one of these. These numbers come from the growth cycle and the controlling cycle. And of course, the friend is the same element. And you can see them gathered together. The 4 and the 3, the 2, 5, and 8, and the 7 and 6. Those are friends in themselves. So let's look at an actual chart. So this happens randomly be picked as period 6, south 2 or south 3 facing house. Here is the chart. And I'm going to look at each individual sector, assuming now this chart is the proper chart for a 7-star robbery house. However, if it was not activated in period 6, it cannot be activated now because there is a time restriction with the 7-star robbery. And that makes it quite difficult to activate older houses. So we're going to start in the southeast, the upper left, and go to the bottom right. So these are the numbers in that sector. So we can look, let's say we want to use this for a home office. So we look at the 2, well, we don't see 1. But if we look at the 1, we see 2. So the energy flows from the facing to the sitting. So this is a better kitchen or a better bedroom, or even a home gym. If we look at how the base star is related to the sitting star, well, there's 5, so it also supports the sitting star. So that means this is an extra boost. When you have the base star also support it, it gives you an extra boost. So you will get help from the outside just by chance. You know, you won't have to work at it. If we look at the 2 and the 5, it is a friend relationship. So overall, what this sector of the house is, it's better for health and relationships, and it has future prospects to be improved without a tremendous amount of effort on your part. Things will just come to you that will help you with this. And it also shows that because we have this friend relationship, it is not going to cost you any amount of money that you're not going to get back in some fashion. I mean, it may require you to take a class or something, but it will make your relationship better or your health better, and you're able to earn more money. So that's the idea. You'll get paid back for any effort that you put in. This is the south sector, and this would be the facing sector of the house. And it has a friend relationship because they're the same number. But when we look at future opportunities, you see that both 6s are pointing to the 1. So you're not going to be able to get opportunities from the outside. You can create your own opportunities, but you shouldn't rely on something just happening on the outside. You need to do a little more work to make things happen. But you can, because this is good for everything. It's good for health and relationships, and it's good for money. It's a very good sector. And this probably would be where your main door will be. This sector looks a lot like the very first one. This is the southwest. It is pointed, in fact, it's the exact same relationship, different numbers, but the exact same relationship. And so this is, again, better for health and relationships, and you have prospects to improve everything, but that will come from the outside. This one is a bit different. It's still better for health and relationships, but you're going to have to work to improve it, either when it comes to money or when it comes to health. So you're going to have to get some self-motivation here. It's not going to come from the outside. This one is better for money. In fact, it's very good for money. And that's really nice since it's the center of the house, because that affects the entire house. And this is, I really like this sector. And it should be open so that it can open to the rest of the room, so it can affect everything in the house. Now, this one is also, in the west, is also better for money. And there will be prospects that come from the outside. It's also a very good sector for money. This one is quite good until we look at timeliness, which we will in a little bit, but it's quite good for money, and there's also future prospects for earning more. This one looks again like the first one, the Southeast. It's much better for health and relationships, but you have an opportunity from the outside to improve things, and that is also true of your finances. This one is better for money. This is because it's basically because of this direction, but it's not particularly useful. I mean, it says any improvement in your health is basically health or relationships will be put into earning more money. That's basically what this kind of thing shows. But it's still good for earning money. You're just going to have to be self-motivated to be able to do that because the direction is to the base star from the facing star. So what I'm doing here is highlighting the supported stars. So that's what you've got in this. And I indicate just a simple color coding, what is good for money in green and what is good for health and relationship in pink. And this isn't very good, but this is supposed to be a gradient, so it's good for both. Then again, this is the 7-star robbery chart, but it can't be activated at present because you missed the opportunity. So if we look at timeliness, because you were not able to activate it, then these squares are timely, or these sectors are timely for their purpose. That is, if you use this for a kitchen or a bedroom, then this is timely. If you use this for earning money, these are timely. So it is okay. You notice that these two aren't good, and that's because the 5 and the 7 right now are quite untimely. So these are the locations that it's better to have as it could even be a guest room, but a bathroom, a storeroom, a laundry, anything could go here like that. Those are definitely not important rooms. And even you could have your living room in these rooms too, because there you're just relaxing. You're not activating anything. The interesting thing is, if you change this house to a period 8 house and you have a little bit of time left in 2023 to do that, you create this house, which is also a 7-star robbery. And if you have a mountain in front and you can put water in that same south sector in this case, but it has to be in that facing sector, then you activate it. You can't put a mountain, of course, that has to come from nature, but you can put water. Most people don't see water from the front of their house. So this is actually quite interesting. There's now 5 sectors that are good for anything. And you've got 2 extra good sectors for health and relationships and 2 extra good sectors for money. I mean, this is a really nice house, but you have to be able to activate the 7-star robbery, because once period 9 starts, which is less than a year away, the whole chart would change unless you can activate the formation. So that's basically it. I'd like to thank you for watching. Please feel free to contact me here if you have any questions, or visit my ad-free website, which has a calculator that can help you determine what your true facing direction is.